welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the exact roadmap for securing funding for your ocean conservation project through the Atlantis Atlas Project Contribution Program. Whether you're a dedicated marine researcher, part of an environmental NGO, or running a local grassroots community club, we know that navigating grant applications can often feel, well, a bit overwhelming. But it really doesn't have to be. We're going to break down their official applicant guidance step by step. We'll map out exactly what the committee is looking for, how to avoid those common pitfalls, and ultimately, how to get your project fully funded.
To really understand this funding, we first need to look at where it's coming from. The Atlantis Atlas Project is incredibly committed to doing business in ways that benefit both people and the planet. Funded by a portion of earnings from their marine animal experiences, as well as their green meeting events, this initiative actively wants to partner with researchers and organizations just like yours. It's essentially a direct reinvestment of guest experiences into real-world conservation and sustainability efforts.
And this quote right here brilliantly illustrates the core vision behind every single grant they award. A healthy and productive ocean valued by an enduring global audience that will appreciate and benefit from its diversity. When you're drafting up your proposal, you really want to keep this at the absolute center of your mind. Your project isn't just about the science. It's about connecting that science to an enduring global audience and ensuring the long-term diversity of our oceans.
Our agenda today is super straightforward. We'll be covering the mission, eligibility, the 4 pillars, funding rules, and finally, the application roadmap.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the mission and the Atlantis Atlas Project vision.
To understand the exact kind of impact Atlantis Dubai is going for, let's look at this number. 1. This represents their $1 contribution program, which signifies the direct reinvestment of their resources into people and the planet. Basically, for every eligible marine experience, $1 is set aside to build this exact grant pool. They absolutely aren't looking for theoretical exercises here. They want this money to translate into tangible, real-world impacts for the environment.
Moving on to Section 2, eligibility. Who actually qualifies to apply?
The program welcomes academics, non-scientists, students, and groups, provided you're affiliated with a registered institute, an NGO, a governmental agency, or a community organization like a grassroots club. Now, they welcome applicants from the GCC region, prioritizing the UAE, but international organizations are highly encouraged to apply too. But you've got to watch out for the strict exclusions. The most critical one? You must apply through a registered organization with a trade license or VAT certificate. Why? Because payments will absolutely not be made into a personal individual bank account. Also, and this is a big one, projects that only benefit captive animals without any application to wild animal conservation are explicitly excluded.
Okay, Section 3, the 4 pillars, strategic paths to impact. To get the green light, your project needs to align perfectly with at least one of 4 strategic pillars. The first one is direct marine conservation. This is all about actions that contribute to and promote the long-term survival of species in their natural ecosystems. So, if your project is out in the field, protecting habitats or preserving wild populations, this is definitely your pillar. The focus here is always on the wild.
Second up is scientific advancement. This pillar is for the data-driven researchers out there. It's designed to fund projects that advance conservation practices and expand our understanding of species biology, taxonomy, genetic analysis, and veterinary science. But remember that golden rule we talked about? This scientific knowledge must ultimately be applicable to helping animals out in natural ecosystems.
The third path focuses on education and awareness. Because, let's face it, science doesn't exist in a vacuum. This pillar is dedicated to enhancing understanding, imparting crucial skills, and empowering local communities to make informed decisions about social and environmental responsibility. If your project involves teaching, community outreach, or changing human behavior to protect the ocean, you're going to want to target this pillar.
And the final pillar is sustainability. This one is all about developing new, innovative ways to actively reduce environmental impacts. Whether you're tackling plastic pollution, improving water quality, or innovating sustainable local practices, if your goal is to shrink the human environmental footprint, this is exactly where your project belongs. Next up, Section 4, funding rules, managing the budget.
You know, the committee strictly evaluates how you plan to spend the money. They highly prioritize projects that allocate the bulk of funds to actual operational running costs, vital testing equipment, or hiring assistants. On the flip side, well, since they're funding direct impact, they're definitely not going to fund your college tuition or that study abroad trip to a tropical beach. You have to keep the budget strictly focused on the work itself.
Finally, Section 5,
the application roadmap timeline, and review.
Mastering this timeline is absolutely crucial if you actually want your hard work to get reviewed. So mark these milestones down right now. The application window opens on April 1st, and the absolute deadline for submission is 11:59 p.m. on June 1st. Late proposals simply won't be considered, just out of fairness to everyone else. The committee reviews everything throughout June and July, and then all applicants, whether successful or not, will be notified simultaneously on August 1st. So whatever you do, please don't email them before August 1st asking for a status update.
Another really crucial number to keep in mind here is 1. Generally speaking, the maximum duration for funded projects is exactly 1 year. Now, they will occasionally consider longer timeframes, but you have to supply incredibly strong, explicit reasoning in your proposal explaining why the project absolutely requires more than 12 months to execute. Otherwise, keep it focused and time-bound.
So what happens once you hit submit? Your application goes behind closed doors for a pretty rigorous 2-tier review process. First, there's a preliminary review by the Secretariat just to ensure all the basic requirements are met. After that, it goes to the Conservation and Science Committee, and this is actually fascinating. This committee isn't just biologists. It includes experts from public relations, veterinarian services, and even finance. They're assessing feasibility, budget reality, synergy with Atlantis Atlas objectives, and even the potential for regional or international media interest. You really need to impress a multidisciplinary room.
Let's say you get that fantastic news on August 1st. What happens next? Well, once funded, transparency is absolutely key. You'll need to sign a terms and conditions agreement and formally acknowledge receipt of the funds. You're also on the hook for detailed accounting, which can be audited upon request. On top of that, you must deliver a 6-month progress check by March 1st and a final, comprehensive annual report detailing your tangible outcomes by September 1st. It's a true partnership, which means consistent communication is totally required.
We've covered the mission, the strict eligibility, the 4 pillars, the budget, and the roadmap. The money and the blueprint are right there on the table. The only question left is, does your project have what it takes to actually change the future of our oceans? Take this knowledge, build your proposal, and go find out. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.